Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I do want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kadash, Deborah to the apostles, and also great millstone for teaching us His truth, peace, and blessings to the whole people of Israel. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. The ancient Hebrew by Hashem means the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back on the lesson, as you see within the title, these top streamers sold out. And it's something I've been, speaking on these past couple weeks, dealing with these streamers, how they're going to be used to, push and promote these, various agendas, especially dealing with this beast system, the Karagma, the MOTB, as you already kind of see, dealing with Mr. Beast, which is one of these big YouTubers. I believe nearly has 500 million subscribers, if I'm correct. But one of his videos, he was, promoting the Neuralink. I believe even, paying for people's procedures, to get it done. And that was displayed to over, hundreds of millions of people. And that's how many people, tune into these videos, And that's just, one example. You see with these, streamers, pulling in, tens of thousands of, viewers, especially dealing with the younger audience, children, which is the main audience that watches these streamers, that tunes into these things, that idolizes, these dudes. But dealing with that point, you think this devil's and leave that unchecked, where you have these streamers pulling in tens of thousands of viewers, and not have it be controlled. There's a reason why you won't see these streamers speak their mind. There's a line that they will not cross. This is why they pretty much go with everything that is so-called, politically correct. Because even at times you'll see, a question is raised to these streamers, how many genders there are, and you see them stumbling over their words. I don't know. There's all of them. There's this and that, and jumping through hoops and hurdles. Because they don't want to lose these sponsorships. They don't want to lose their fame and praise, because as I like to make that point, these streamers are the new celebrities. You even have athletes wanting to be streamers. You have a lot of these top celebrities today can't compare to the what's what I'm looking for, the attention, the spotlight that these streamers pull in. For example, you'll see with IShowSpeed where he'll travel abroad, go to these various countries. And everywhere he goes, you have, crowds, following after him. What celebrity you see today is able to, pull that off? So you can see how these celebrities or these streamers are going to be used to push and promote these various agendas, as you really kind of see. Because these streamers receive sponsorships. They receive, various companies wanting to, push their ads onto them to promote certain things. So you best believe when the MOTB comes around, they're going to be, promoting these things heavily. Because as you about to see right here within this video, this streamer, which goes by the name of Lacey, which is a top streamer you see today, he's going to admit to selling out. And this should be, nothing new. Especially when you look into how these, celebrities obtained their status, their fame and praise. There are things you got to do to obtain said things. Sacrifices that need to be made. This is why you see dealing with these, athletes, these singers, rappers, before they go big, there's a death in the family. A lot of them are sacrificing their family members. Their mother, you see, was Kanye West, and I believe even LeBron James, if I'm correct. They even have, songs, kind of speaking on, symbolically of what they did. But it's like I'm, being off topic. Going to play a quick video, which is, going to go into that point of this dude just selling out, and also mentioning other streamers that pretty much were with them. But let's get to the way I get into the script. Let's dive right into it.
sellout streamer, okay? You know what I'll say right now? I don't give a fuck. I sold my soul. I went to a red room. Jesus, Convi, Aiden, Tom.
And those are other streamers. Aiden being one of the bigger ones.
Came in with red room.
And you have people see this. He's just joking. He's just kidding. So he's able to, on the spur of a moment, crack a joke and say all these, various things. The rituals that were performed, the step-by-step, the play-by-play. You think he just came up with that on the moment? Joking about that? Come on.
They had blood stains dripping down their mouths. They walked up to me, walked around in a circle.
You're so obsessed with me.
He started doing a bunch of weird spells and shit, casting it on me. And I walked out after that, checked my bank account, $2 million in the account.
And you see, it's not the first case like this. I believe, even though Blackboy Max, I believe one of the brothers made a lesson speaking on him, which I made a few, diving into him also, with all the confusion and wickedness he's heavily pushing, especially onto the younger audience. That's one who tunes into these guys. But you see him, dudes acting feminine, getting a tattoo of the word diva on him, dancing like a chick, wearing wigs, and you see how this is being normalized, being pushed onto these, children. But going back to the point, there are things you need to do in order to obtain fame and praise on this side, and this dude just admitted to what he did in order to obtain it. And I forgot to make that point to Blackboy Max. There was a clip that came out of someone giving him $100,000 randomly in order to become a streamer. There was that. I thought I had it saved, but that's really it on that right there. Let's get into these scriptures at hand. Luke 6:24. And it says, "But woe unto you that are rich, for you have received your consolation." You got your prize. You got your reward. Especially speaking of these other Israelite camps that have sold out, that have took the bag, that are, pushing, promoting confusion, leading our people astray, going against the names, Yahweh or Yahweh Shai. It's clear that these guys sold out with these false doctrines that are now beginning to push. Pushing the names not important, pushing these various different doctrines. You see that's pushed within these anti-Christian churches. But the main point is less than dealing with these streamers. Because as I was making that point, they are the new celebrities. You see, getting these major brand deals, sponsorships from these big companies, and as I was making that point, this is why they're unwilling to speak out against anything. They go with the grain. They don't want to go against anything that's not politically correct. Let's talk about it for a minute. Slovakia. This is a Mark 8:36. And it says, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" And you see, these people's moralities is just out the window. It's gone. You see the wicked things that these people partake in, the confusion that's heavily pushed. And once again, the things these people are willing to do for money, And you get in the scriptures, let's actually get that. Money is the root of all evil. People will say crazy. You had that one popular clip dealt with Terrence Crawford, and I believe that one football player, where he said he's willing to sell his soul for however many millions of dollars. And then Terrence Crawford said, that's your character. Now we know it. But also, he's a hypocrite because then he took a picture with Donald Trump smiling. People are a lot of people are calling him out for that too. But they're all under the devil's thumb. There's 1 Timothy 6:10 says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows." See what another translation says. The NLT, "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil." As I make that point, you see the what I'm looking for. The various things people are, willing to do to obtain however much money. This is why you have these, bugged out, wicked questions these people raise. Well, what are you willing to do for $1 million? And it's always something sus, But it says, craving money, have wandered from true faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows. So, okay, let's get Mark 8:36. I want to get another translation dealing with this NLT, and I want to see what the GNT says. And it says, "And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul?" GNT, "Do you gain anything if you win the whole world but lose your life? Of course not." But you see the things people are willing to do to obtain fame and praise on this side. This is why you have dudes wearing women's clothing, painting their nails, and promoting that lifestyle, that this is normal for you to do. That a man is in tune with his feminine side. That's what a man is today in today's society. In tune with your feminine side, painting your nails, letting the woman step all over you. It's all out of whack and out of order. Isaiah 5:20 says, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness and light and light for darkness, that put bitter sweet and sweet for bitter." So you have nothing but wickedness and confusion being upheld within this place. That's the standard. That's the norm. And that's why when you speak against these things, looked upon as the weird one, the black sheep, the odd one out. When they're the odd one out, they're the oddball. They're the black sheep. But you see people that will watch these streamers, see them doing something wicked, wearing women's clothing, dancing like a female when they're a dude, doing all sorts of, confusion and wicked deeds. You speak against it, you're the weird one. He's doing it for charity and all this wickedness, man. All these, other reasons. And they also have this thing called sub goals, where they'll, write up whatever type of reward that they will pretty much give the viewers if they reach however many, subs. Let's say they reach 1,000 subs, they'll shave their hair, shave their eyebrows. Like I said, wear a woman's clothing. You get the idea. This is Psalms 82:5, so they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on the darkness, all the foundations of the earth are out of course. So it's all out of whack, all jumbled up. Always like to bring the point how we're in a upside down world. If you've seen the show Stranger Things, they call it the upside down. If you also know about Bizarro, which is the opposite of Superman. Hey, we're in a bizarro world. Because a wickedness is looked upon as righteousness in this place. As I'm making that point, you speak against these things, you put your foot down, not wanting to partake in the wickedness and the confusion of this place. You actually, should kind of separate, put your foot down. You're looked upon as weird and, get with the program. It's the year 2026. He still sells things and feel that type of way. You're weird and all that type of stuff, man. It just goes to show how far gone this place is, as well as the people that is in it. This is why you get Isaiah 34, how Lord's indignation is upon this place, especially its inhabitants. This is a Proverbs 11:4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from debt. So, sure, they sold out. Sure, they're on top right now, but they're going to be brought low. This money that they got, it's all going to be wasted away. This is why you see with these apocalyptic type of movies, when things hit the fan, what do they use the cash for? They use it as fuel for fire. You get in the scriptures how people are going to be throwing their cash money in the air. Let's get that. Shall throw their money in the air. If I take exact, yeah. I was gonna put, silver and gold. For the exact scripture, but this is the 19th verse when I was going to get. It says Ezekiel 7:19 says, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and the gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it's a stumbling block of their iniquity. So it's going to be worthless. It's going to be, nothing. And as we're reading Proverbs 11:4 one more time, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. So it's all going to come to bite them back in the behind. It's money they work so hard for, selling out, promoting wickedness, having blood in their hand, all to come to naught. This is Matthew 6:20. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. So hey, we're investing in Yahweh Bashmal Shah. Hey, we're going all in. Hey, we're going to hit big. But then with that point, we're putting our faith and our trust in Yahweh Bashmal Shah, because the Lord is going to reward his elect. Would you hope and pray that we are a part of that number, Lord's will? See, another translation says, store your treasures in heaven, where moths and rust cannot destroy, and thieves do not break through and steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And we're focused on the kingdom, on salvation, on deliverance. And we're waiting upon Yahweh Bashmal Shah. But that's the point. This is Romans 16:18. And it's for they that are such serve not Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, but their own belly. And you have these people that will try to appear godly, saying they believe in God, that they are religious, and you see the wickedness that they do. And this is dealing with everything on all levels. These celebrities, streamers, these others like camps, dealing with these false prophets that sold out. Once again, I made that point earlier. As you see with ISBK, IUIC, they're worldly. They have not changed their ways one bit. And this is one more time from my top. For they that are serving not Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, but their own belly, doing things to fill their own lust, their own pleasures. And this is, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speech to deceive the hearts of the simple. They have a lot of blood on their hands with the confusion that they are promoting, the false doctrines that they are pushing. But like I made that point from what we just read, it's clear, they're not serving Yahweh Bashmal Shah, but themselves. What's in doing things to fill their own belly, their own lust, making this thing about themselves rather than about Yahweh Bashmal Shah. Because they want the spotlight. But that's it right there. Sorry about kind of rambling on certain points, but Lord's will, tighten it up to the best of my ability. Been speaking on these streamers as of late, and really want to make points pushing how they're going to be used to push and promote these various agendas this devil's going to, be pushing out, especially dealing with this beast system, this Charagma, the MOTB, because this is something that you are going to see, and really you've been, seeing already, as I already made that point dealing with Mr. Beast, having a video with over hundreds of plus millions of views promoting the Neuralink. So people can see how cool it is. All my favorite YouTuber streamers doing it, so I'm going to go and do it. This is generally how people act, how people are. And what's that? Especially dealing with the younger audience, that they're, impressionable. Let's get that word impressionable, and I'll close this out. Impressionable. If that's a word. Yeah, impressionable.
Impressionable.
And it says refers to a person who is easily influenced, suggestible, or capable of being significantly shaped by their experiences. And that's what you're going to see. But that's it right there. Lord's will, the lessons edifying. I do close out, give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bashim, Shabbat, Shalom. See you next one, Lord's will.